Tonight, the battle of wills between the Speaker of the House and the Leader of the Opposition has been described as a comedy by an independent observer. Local vendors are encouraged by inclusive port development plans that puts them in line to benefit from the economic spin-off, and the Taiwanese embassy lends tangible support to the youth economy program.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Daniela Edwin.
Good evening. It is Thursday, May 11th, 2023. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna, thank you for joining us. A former independent senator is less than amused by the House debacle between Leader of the Opposition, Alan Chastanet, and House Speaker Claudius Francis. Describing the issue as comical, Adrian Auger surmises that the Parliament of St. Lucia has become more about the individuals rather than addressing the concerns of the people. He further opines that the ordeal brings to the fore the deficiencies which exist within the Parliament.
That comedy, and it is largely comedy, is driven not so much by its own circumstance, but by an absence of a larger agenda, which is a national agenda.
Comedy was the word chosen by former independent Senator Adrian Auger to describe the ongoing dispute between the Leader of the Opposition, Alan Chastanet, and Speaker of the House, Claudius Francis, who have yet again found themselves before the courts over parliamentary procedure controversy. While the two lock horns for a second time in the judiciary, onlookers such as Auger believe that these antics are hindering the progress of the lower house of assembly. The former independent senator is of the opinion that the Parliament of St. Lucia has become too individual-centric, ignoring the national plight.
The politics has become about me and you. It has become about them and us. It has become about red and yellow. It has become about I like you, I don't like you, I support you. This sort of blind adherence to the party line. It will kill us. And we need to remember that the Parliament is a child, a creature, an institution of the state, and it's the sanctity of that process should be above all else.
Remaining on neutral territory, Auger refrained from castigating any side of the political disagreement. However, Auger notes that the partisan politics of the island has seeped into its fundamental institutions. He advocates for unity so that the national agenda can progress.
We're all in the same bus on the same road, and if we don't recognize that, okay, well, you take the tires and I'll take the clutch, and you take the steering wheel and I'll take the brakes. This is not producing the kind of progress and transformation that we need in the society. Our people are desperately underprivileged, underschooled, underfed, underhoused. Healthcare needs a lot of attention. Environment needs a lot of attention. We're not going to progress as a state until we pull our resources together. And we go right back to the issues I mentioned earlier about how we build diversity into our ecosystem, because it's there. You can't pretend that you have all the answers when only less than 30% of the population voted for you. That is madness. That is disavowing the existence of the other 60% of the population who didn't vote for you.
Moreover, the former senator surmises that the people are tired of the antics, and that is indicative of the constant switching of governments every election cycle.
The responsibility of the opposition is no less than the responsibility of the government. You are part of the same process. And I think that frankly, the vast majority of citizens are quite tired of that sort of boyish banter, that people want to see governance working for them. People want to see beyond Mr. Minister, can I get a contract because we are friends, or we're in the same party. People want to move beyond that. I believe that St. Lucia is capable of more. And if there was a larger national agenda that bound us together as St. Lucians, as citizens, as creatives, as engineers, as lawyers, I think we might begin to see some of that tribalism dissipating.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Kareem Nelson.
The president of the St. Lucia Craft and Dry Goods Vendors Association, Peter Isaac, has expressed mixed reviews about the economic performance of the 2023 cruise season. The review comes as the busyness of the winter season fizzles out, making way for summer. Isaac says while some vendors were able to realize profits following the reopening of the ports and the aggressive push to revitalize the tourism sector, many others were not able to enjoy such good fortunes. Eldris Charles picks up that story.
Vendors at the craft market have expressed mixed reviews about the economic impact of the 2023 cruise season, with some vendors benefiting more than others. The reviews came from the president of the Vendors Association, Peter Isaac, who has welcomed the opening of the sector since the pandemic. Speaking on the performance of the season, Isaac explained that a major setback for vendors was the uncoordinated approach by the larger cruise stakeholders that boxed out the smaller players. He has called for more consideration to be given to marketing the destination to a younger demographic with a more disposable income to spend at the craft and souvenir market.
We have some of these tours that are organized by the big tour operators here, and we don't get a chance of these people coming and stop at the areas where vendors are for 5 or not 5, but let us say, between 15 and 25 minutes and so on. I spoke to some of the people who are responsible, and they were saying the difficulty in that, where we're saying that, if we get the traffic board or transport board, the traffic officers, the police, everybody on board, we can devise a method to get things like the choo-choo train and some of these coasters to stop around these markets. I think that's the area that we probably are not benefiting much from.
Isaac says he is pleased with the plans being forwarded by Global Port Holdings for the redevelopment of Port Castries. He believes that the move will afford vendors an equal opportunity to capitalize on business opportunities.
What I think is going to be a plus for us is the whole idea of the port development and redevelopment. And the agency now that the government seems to have an MOU with the GPH, the Global Port Holdings, have shown us in one way that there is promise there. And something, there are some new highlights we think that we appreciate a lot. And some of them is that it's a must that people would pass through when they disembark, especially in the Northern Wharf. When they disembark from the ship, you would have to pass through the Vendors Arcade. And even if they went through La Place Carénage, there will be an exit from La Place Carénage into the Vendors Arcade again to find yourself anywhere else that you need to go into Castries, whether to board a taxi or coaster or just want to walk around.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldris Charles.
The officers of the Youth Economy Agency recently received a visit from a contingent representing the International Cooperation and Development Fund, Taiwan ICDF, accompanied by His Excellency Peter Chai Chen, Ambassador of the Republic of China Taiwan to St. Lucia. The 16-member team paid an official call to the YEA officers to assess the work being done by the recently launched organization. As of this date, the Youth Economy Agency has assisted nearly 24 businesses with grant funding to help in the growth and development of their small businesses. Krim Nelson visited the YEA office and filed this report.
The Republic of China Taiwan has been one of the principal partners of the government of St. Lucia in establishing the agency, which seeks to provide training and financial support for St. Lucian entrepreneurs between the ages of 15 and 45. Reinforcing its commitment to the programming of the year, a contingent representing the Taiwan ICDF, led by Timothy Zhang, accompanied by the Taiwanese ambassador to St. Lucia, His Excellency Peter Chen, paid a courtesy visit to the recently opened office. The main objective of the visit was to ascertain the progress made by the agency since its launch. Chairperson of the year, Thomas Leonce, highlighted the incredible contributions made by the Taiwanese technical mission so far, which has allowed the agency to provide 22 businesses with grant funding and launch its business development program, which aims to benefit 100 youth entrepreneurs.
The Republic of China, Taiwan signaled its support to the Youth Economy Agency very early in the game. As early as, what month was it that we signed the...
November.
It was November 2021.
21.
Yes,
really?
It was November 21.
So very, very, very early.
Before we had an act.
Yeah. And before we even thought where we were going to be. I mean, we didn't know we were going to be in the space. And in a very strong and tangible way. We remain deeply appreciative of the initial contribution, which went largely towards the retrofitting of this space. But this was immediately followed with another, again, tangible contribution in the form of furniture and fixtures, which our CEO spoke to earlier on, to ensure that our staff operate in a comfortable environment to serve the young people of St. Lucia. This was then followed by complete support for an entrepreneurship development program in the form of business planning training, which classes kicked off on Tuesday of this week.
This visit was Timothy Zhang's maiden introduction to the Youth Economy Agency since its inception. The Taiwanese ICDF has provided tremendous tangible support to the YE to carry out its operations. YE has had over 500 walk-ins at its offices in the space of less than 4 weeks. The agency's website has had over 13,000 hits since its launch in early March, and more than 400 applications were fielded for the organization's first training exercise, which is currently underway. Pleased by the strides made so far by the agency, the Taiwanese ICDF Secretary General expressed confidence in the YE's ability to develop the island's youth and youth economy.
What I've heard earlier, the numbers and the interest of the youth, definitely I believe it's going to be a very successful project, and I also believe it's going to be support development of St. Lucia, and also happy that because ICDF were the implementer for carrying out this project. We have the part of it, of course, under the assistance or the guidance of our embassy. So I'm happy to see all this development and the success here.
Members of the visiting delegation were presented with gift bags, including items produced by YE grant recipients. Mr. Riyad James is the owner of The Local Bites, and his chips and salsa are made with local produce. Grant funding from the YE assisted him in the purchasing of 2 storage freezers. Mrs. Vanna Sonson produced customized dominoes for the visit of the Taiwanese team, with grant funding from YE helping her acquire raw materials. Mr. Coyote James operates a local manufacturing business, Real 3D Printing, which produces a wide range of products such as merchandise, custom parts, replacement parts, prototypes, and keychains, which were presented to the visitors. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Kareem Nelson.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, jazz and arts events draw record crowd participation on Wednesday, and the St. Lucia Civil Service Association celebrated over 7 decades of service to its members this week. Stay tuned for the details and more. We'll be right back.